Hey guys, we currently have new merch designs available, so if you want to check that out on our shop, click the link down below in the description or in the notification above. Also, if you decide to buy one, feel free to send me a picture on Twitter or in my Discord, so check all that out when you have the time. Anyways, moving along. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? My name is Prodigy, and welcome to our video on the channel. Today we're back at it again with the Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Ultimania. In the last Ultimania video, we talked a lot about the voice actors for Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, what went into making Terra, Aqua, and Ventus, and what was the decision behind separating the stories into 3. So if you want to go ahead and check that out, then be sure to check it out in the end card at the end of this video or in the card on the top right of the screen. Similar to most of our Ultimania videos, I don't usually read too far ahead. I just skim to see what the topic is generally going to be about, but I mostly read the interviews blind, kind of just like you guys watching my videos. I feel like it adds a sort of atmosphere that I really like, and I like being surprised as well to find out what Nomura said himself. But based on these subtitles for today's interview, we're going to be talking a little bit about Final Fantasy in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep and the secrets of the secret event. So the section seems to be just as long as the last video, so expect it to be about as long as that. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as I present this to you. How did you choose the worlds they would visit? The first worlds we decided on were the 3 worlds the princesses were on. The princesses themselves appeared in the first Kingdom Hearts, but their worlds didn't, and I wanted to show them at some point, and it was perfect since we would also be able to show how Maleficent started going after the 7 princesses. The other worlds were chosen by how fun they looked when we drew them out. There are a few worlds that we have seen before. Olympus Coliseum has been in every game so far, but since this time we will be able to talk about their past, we really wanted to have it in. In the original movie, there are scenes that show young Hercules growing up, and we really wanted to show that, so we had them go to Olympus Coliseum. Zack appears at the Olympus Coliseum, but was there a reason why he is the only Final Fantasy character this time around? We wanted to have Sid and the gang in Radiant Garden, but that would have made the story go too far off track. The main story of Birth by Sleep is complicated enough as it is, so instead of making a lot of side roads, we concentrated on the main story, which resulted in having no other Final Fantasy character but Zack make an appearance. The reason we chose him was as this is a story set in the past of the first game, we wanted to have a character from the past of a Final Fantasy game. As Zack was a character from the past in Final Fantasy VII, he fit the role just perfectly. There were other characters we wanted to show, but since they'll be appearing in a different game, we didn't put them in this one. As it isn't a game we've announced yet, I can't tell you who it is though. That I feel like is obviously teasing the Worlds With You characters for Dream Drop Distance. But it's kind of funny they teased that in this Ultimania. That's pretty cool. Obviously, we know Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep is a prequel to Kingdom Hearts 1 at this point in time. It was the only prequel we had in Kingdom Hearts. Now we have the prequel to the prequel of Birth by Sleep and Key, but they chose these worlds based on some of the princesses of heart that we saw in Kingdom Hearts 1 in Hollow Bastion towards the end. It's really nice that they did go out of their way to kind of do that, and they also went out of their way to show you how Maleficent even got into this mess with the 7 princesses, even though, funny enough, it ended up being a storyline that kind of got dropped from Maleficent after Kingdom Hearts 1, as she and Pete started doing other things, started thinking about other things, and they're on their own wave now. They're like playing Kingdom Hearts 4, as I said in another video. I don't know what they're doing. Maleficent's all up in Union Cross, trying to figure out the Master's plan, what's in the box. Like, Maleficent, they're playing a whole different game. They're like 5 steps ahead of Sora in the game. Now, I still to this day have not played Crisis Core. I have played Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VII Remake. I still have not played Crisis Core. I've been meaning to do it on stream at some point. I wanted to play through the whole 7 series, but I just haven't gotten around to it, unfortunately. But I do know a lot about Zack from what I've heard from friends and what I've had to look up for certain videos and whatnot. But it'd be a little iffy considering how his story is, quote, supposed to end. But this is a Kingdom Hearts version of Zack. So I think they could put him back in if they really wanted to and have him coexist with Cloud and all the rest of the Radiant Garden gang. Like, they coexist with each other. I think it'd be really cool to just have him around. Like, maybe we revisit Olympus once again as Aqua or Kairi or something, and we just randomly go to a town and we see Zack just kind of, you know, chilling. That would be awesome. Like, don't you guys think that would be awesome? That would be really cool. I would love that. But who knows when the next time we'll see Zack is. Maybe this was a one and done deal. I did kind of want to point out one thing I read, which is a little surprising to hear for this game nonetheless. Because it's a similar reason as to why Kingdom Hearts 3 didn't have Final Fantasy characters at first. They said they wanted to focus on the main story and there was no room for them in Kingdom Hearts 3. And they gave a similar reason here for Birth by Sleep for why they only had one Final Fantasy character. Though for most Kingdom Hearts fans, one is, I won't say plenty, but one is enough. It's something, you know what I mean? But Birth by Sleep did focus on his story pretty heavily because as you guys have been watching my Birth by Sleep streams recently, every time we do a Ultimania video, we always go back and play the select Kingdom Hearts games that we're covering the Ultimania for. It kind of leaves things a lot more fresh in my head, and I'm able to reference things a lot more clearly rather than just trying to pick it out of my brain. Even though I remember most things about Kingdom Hearts, but still, it's better to have it fresh in your memory than trying to retrospectively go back and maybe watch some videos or open up a save file and look at some theater mode cutscenes. Having a fresh playthrough done really makes these videos a lot more fun than they already are. But it's just weird though, because as they focus on the story more and more, I wonder if they're going to carry this mentality. I think Kingdom Hearts 3, if anything, should have proved to them that that is not the route they should go, not the focusing on the story route, but rather if they want to put Final Fantasy characters in, or if they want to focus on the story, they still need to put Final Fantasy characters in, because similar to Disney, that's also a attraction that brought people into Kingdom Hearts. So that's really, really important. Moving along though, there was a new enemy this time around called the Unverse. How did you think them up? Since they couldn't be around during Kingdom Hearts, we needed to have an enemy that could no longer exist during that time. So we connected them to Vanitas so that when he disappeared, they will disappear as well. Their design concept was emotions, so we see them with smiling faces, angry faces, crying faces. They were designed with many different expressions. The Unverse mark is also meant to be a heart that expresses emotions. I never really knew that. That's interesting. Well, I never knew that like that was in their designs, the smiley faces, angry faces, and crying faces and stuff. And I didn't know that detail about the heart. I just thought that Unverse mark was something they just made just to make. But that's, yeah, okay, now looking at it, okay, I could definitely see that. I don't know, I might be really weird for not like noticing that. Speaking of enemies, the hidden boss that is Vanitas' sentiment was quite strong. Everyone liked Lingering Sentiment, the hidden boss from Kingdom Hearts 2 FM, so we wanted to make him equal to that. The thing fans wanted most in a hidden boss was demonic strength. So if our debuggers could find a way to beat him, we tossed that idea. And that's how he became as strong as he is. While they were making it, I went to Osaka and fought him myself, but I couldn't beat him. If I can beat him, he can't be that strong. So having him so strong that I can't beat him is ideal. Bro, what? I'm not gonna lie. Nomura, I really am glad y'all did not carry that mindset for future secret bosses, because that might be the one thing I have to criticize. That, no. I respect the idea of not being able to beat a boss, not being able to beat him easily, but like, nah man, these bosses gotta be beatable. And the reason I say that is like, not saying Vanitas' sentiment isn't beatable, he's a beatable boss, but he's so annoyingly hard, like they said here, we have to use like obnoxious options in a lot of scenarios to even get past these fights unless we're like complete pro players or something. I don't know, secret bosses in Birth by Sleep definitely are not the game's strong suit. I think the story bosses are pretty good, but a lot of the secret bosses are really cool in spectacle and in music especially, but they are not as cool in terms of like actual mechanical design, in my opinion at least. Like Mysterious Figure is a treat. Armored Ericus is a treat as well. No heart is something. And Vanilla's sentiment is among those, as well as, I don't even know what to describe him. He's something as well. If I can beat him, he can't be that strong. So having him so strong that I can't beat him is ideal. So he didn't even beat the boss after its final, like, version. I don't know. That's just crazy. But, I don't know, man. Maybe there's some value in that boss that I haven't found yet. But those, I don't know, secret bosses in Birth by Sleep are not preferable for me. I definitely prefer number title secret bosses compared to Dream Drop and Birth by Sleep, actually, because yeah, both of them have the same type of boss design. The Kingdom Hearts series has always had a secret movie at the end, but this time there was a secret event called Blank Points. Does the name express the empty parts of the story? It does have that meaning, but usually I give the secret movie a title that reflects the meaning of the movie. For example, the Kingdom Hearts secret movie was Another Side, Another Story, and that was about Roxas. And of course, the Kingdom Hearts 2FM secret movie was Birth by Sleep, but this time, Blank Points isn't necessarily the title, even though the meaning fits. In the secret event, Xehanort says the heart that resides within Terra's heart. Whose is it? I can't say just yet, but I've said it so that you'll know who it is. Listen to Xehanort's words closely and read his reports carefully. I think you'll know who it is then. Ansem the Wise says to Aqua, everything is born from sleep. What does this mean? In that scene, the ones who are calling for Sora are the ones who have already disappeared from the world. But in the world of Kingdom Hearts, there is no concept of death. Well, nice to confirm that. That, for example, they are just sleeping within Sora's heart. If you can just wake them up, they'll be able to return to the world. They would be born from sleep. That there would be a possibility of this is what Ansem the Wise is saying. Even Aqua, who isn't in the realm of light, would be born from sleep. In that case, do the characters we see in that scene have a chance of returning? Yes. The data that Ansem has hidden within Sora is the secret to that revival. When Ansem had become Diz and studied the heart and emotions, the results he found within Sora, there are a lot of people who thought that Coded was about finding those results, but that's not true. The ending of Coded was about finding out that Diz had hid something within Sora, as Naminé said, finding out about the data that Ansem hid. What that data is will be revealed in the next game. You know, that is true. That is something else Recoded kind of did. That's something we often forget about in a way too. But given we didn't fully find that out until the ending. Alright, so commenting on each question, about the first one, Blank Points, straight up, my opinion, the best cutscene in Kingdom Hearts, or one of them at least. Probably aside from the epilogue, that might be the best cutscene in Birth by Sleep, and the entire series, top 3. Very, very good cutscene. If I wanted to describe to someone why I love Sora so much, it's because of like what Sora means to that world, what Sora means to kind of everyone, and I would often refer to that scene. Like whenever I like go back and see Blank Points, I always have to watch the whole thing. It's a cutscene. It's one of those cutscenes in Kingdom Hearts I can't skip and like go back and watch later. I have to watch it every time it even starts, and it's just beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's also funny that in the Ultimania for Birth by Sleep, they actually did confirm, well, I won't say confirm, but they kind of like confirmed that Ericus was in Terra's heart. Nomura basically implying that it was kind of obvious if you look at reports and you kind of look at the context clues. A lot of us figured, like even before Kingdom Hearts 3, but it was still a little up in the air, like, is he ? Question mark? And them confirming here that Kingdom Hearts has no concept of death. I don't know if that's a literal thing, which it probably is based on the series so far, or if that's just the characters themselves don't have any concept, or they don't understand the weight of that. Maybe. I don't know, because Sora definitely like thought they all died in KH3, but then brought them back like through time travel. So I guess no one is truly gone in Kingdom Hearts 3, which is what they're trying to tell you, and I think that's a nice little message. And Nomura even here states that yes, Birth by Sleep characters did have a chance of returning, and in Coded, that was one of the biggest things they really wanted you to realize as well, that Ansem hid this data inside of Sora, and it was all for the purpose of bringing these guys back, saving these people whose hearts needed mending, like Aqua, like Terra, like Ventus, like Roxas, Xion, etc. Honestly, Birth by Sleep has one of the most well-told stories in the entirety of the Kingdom Hearts series, all the way up to its secret ending, and it's something that has resonated with fans for so long. I feel like Birth by Sleep was the game that changed a lot of things for the Kingdom Hearts series, like with Kingdom Hearts 1, Chain of Memories, and 2, and a couple of games like slightly before it. There was a layer of depth for the Kingdom Hearts series. We had the thing about Hearts being pretty like convoluted. We had some mystery going on, but relatively speaking, the story was on a much easier to follow track, which some people may have preferred, but I feel like Birth by Sleep kind of gave me something even more to latch onto in the grander scheme of Kingdom Hearts, rather than just Sora, Riku, and Kairi, and maybe a Roxas or something. It gave me a lot more to care about, and it gave me a lot more weight, I guess, for the story, for the entire story. It added so much weight to Kingdom Hearts plot that otherwise I feel like might have been missing, or might have been a lot more simplistic, a lot more generic-ish. But Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance even, I know people are critical about that, but even Dream Drop, I'd personally say, Days, a lot of the non-numbered titles really did a lot for the series. And while I know it may have come at a price, a lot of people now think that the series is one of the most convoluted things ever, and I can't fully dispute that, because I mean, it can be pretty confusing, it can be a lot to take in, it's a mountain of lore to get into, but when you do get into it, I honestly think it's just all too worth it, and I love this series for that. I think this series would not be my favorite series if it wasn't for some of the side games. Maybe Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 would have been some of my favorite games, but like, I don't think as a whole, the Kingdom Hearts franchise would be my favorite franchise if it wasn't for everything that kind of came with it, and I really appreciate it for that. But that'll be about it for today's Ultimania video. There will be a lot more to come in the Birth by Sleep Ultimania, but if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like, share the video with a friend or family member, and last but not least, if you have not already and want to become a part of the Union, all you have to do is hit that red subscribe button down below. My name is Prodigy, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out, guys. Bye.